Hello, Internet. How are you?
Hey, I'm not
Today,
the internet.
yeah, you're on the Internet. We're all the
Yes,
Internet, Jordan. So
that's right.
today I have Jordan. I'm not going to attempt your last name because it's
Sure.
French.
It's French, Bourgeoult
Oh, see, I would have got it wrong. I would have said Bourgeoult,
or Bourgeoult
which,
or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Now that you say it's French, I should have been able to like just soften
Yeah.
up all the hard
That's a
consonants.
lot of letters to say O, you know?
Yeah,
Bourgeoult, two syllables, 10
yeah.
letters. That's how it
I
is.
I just realized that I said I'm not gonna try pronounce it because you're French. And I don't
Yeah.
want that to sound like I have anything against the French.
Nah, you just don't know how to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm so scared of offending people right at the
Yeah.
beginning of the podcast. Be like, hey, now that I've massacred your name, let's talk for an hour.
Yeah. We're in the West. There's going to be less French people probably watching, you
Yeah,
know?
we don't have the Quebecois sense of hatred for us
Mhm.
Anglophiles. Is that what we're called? Makes it so.
Anglophone, something like
Yeah,
that. I don't
yeah.
know, but they love me now, so
Hmm.
we're cool. Me and the French community are cool.
Oh yeah, because you fucking helped out their hero. I wanted to
Yeah,
talk to you about this, but I didn't want to annoy you by me fangirling over it because as the audience knows, I was a graphic designer and you did pretty much one of my favorite pieces of art, and that's a goalie helmet. You painted Carey Price's new badass skull,
yeah,
habitant
yeah. Sure,
homage.
that works.
It's like
Yeah,
five
is
different
that
ways to
French?
say that word.
Is
Yeah.
that French word? Is that
So
where you're
yeah,
struggling?
you
Yeah,
you painted Carey Price's current helmet that he wears. Well, he has two. You were telling me before the
yeah,
podcast,
yeah,
and he
yeah. He
wears
has another
it
one.
and his other one that isn't as
Hmm.
nice. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's not as wild, I guess, but it's
yeah,
cool.
you could soft handle, but I'm gonna say yours is better. I'll
Thanks, man. I
I'll
appreciate
give you
that.
the compliment. So
I like mine better too, but I spent a whole bunch of time on it, so I'm biased.
yeah,
You know?
I mean, I get you should because you're emotionally attached to it, and it's weird. Like when you do something like that, like I haven't, like every time I do art and I genuinely love it, I'm like, am I just being like arrogant because I made this, or is this as good as I think it is? But
Sure.
yours is as good as you think it is. I just want to point that out.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
And
that
I,
happens
yeah,
though. What also happens is, but sometimes jobs take so long. By the time I'm done it, I'm like sick of looking at it.
mm-hmm.
Like it get a lot of these jobs take longer than my patience allows, and then I just have to like get them done and finish it. And I'm happy with them and everything, but like that's my deal. I'm just like detail guy, so the amount of time they take sometimes is just like longer than I care to look at something. Like when I'm done something and I still have like reference photos on my computer or something, and I'm like done the painting, I open my computer and then I'm just like, ugh, and it's just got to get rid of them. You know, I'm like sick of looking at this, whatever it is, you know, snake because I need snake reference or something. You know, I'm sick of looking at it.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, if you
it's
guys
good
want to check out some JBo's, you do a lot of like WIP videos on stuff on your Instagram, and they're actually really
for
cool.
sure.
That's JBo Airbrush.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I love them. Like I always like your shoe ones. Like you did a Yoda, a Spock,
yeah,
Captain Kirk. It's
totally.
funny because I'll see you do these like you paint on white bands. I'm like, those are so fucking rad. And then I'm like, oh, would I even wear those? I'd be like so scared
Yeah,
of like wrecking them.
totally. Yeah, don't wear them. I don't care. Yeah, you'll have them longer if you don't wear them. Also, they were bought and paid for. You ruin them. I don't care. Throw them in the
Yeah,
mud. I got my pictures. I got my video. I got paid. But yeah, for
exactly.
sure. As far as they go, I mean, there should be wearable and washable and things like that. But I almost say treat them like white shoes. Like they're
Mhm.
gonna stain. They're gonna whatever. Like you could wash them, but they're gonna be like. I painted a pair and I took it like long weekend camping a long time ago just to put the test on them.
Yeah.
And I washed them and then I scrubbed and only a few areas that it actually even fade, but they were just ruined from like the mud, just like any
Oh
shoes
yeah.
would be. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, they're not the way I do them. They're not waterproof, but they're like washable, like how guys who do t-shirts do
Oh
them.
yeah.
You know, it's almost more like it dyes them. I kind of treat it for
Yeah.
the fabric stuff.
So I'm guessing you would use a different paint to do
Yeah,
those,
totally,
or
man. I've got like different paints for the different materials I use. So I do body painting
okay.
as well. That's a different kind of paint. The
Mhm.
the shoes is like a different kind of paint, and all the automotive stuff like helmets, golden masks, motorcycles, all that shit is all automotive paint. And so, yeah, there's just different things. And over time, you just amass all this stuff. So I've got like, different kinds of paints for different kinds of things. I got them all over the place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So just to backtrack a bit, how did this whole Carey Price thing happen? Like, did you just call Carey Price, like find his number on the internet and be like, yo, I paint helmets. You want one?
No, more the other way around. I don't really, it probably would be a good idea to do things like that. I don't know if these people take unsolicited, mail requests from people, but it's the other way around. He just messaged me on Instagram.
What?
Yeah, totally. So
Jesus.
Just random, like, yo, this helmet you painted is sick. And then I'm assuming he's only messaging me because he's interested in working with me. So I'm like, well, sweet, man, you should hit me up and we should do one for you. And then that's basically where it went.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I guess like it's way better if he comes to you because then he knows you're legit. Because if you have to go to someone, you're like, yo, I paint helmets. They'll be like, well, I've never heard of you. I don't want to risk.
Sure.
Because
like, what kind of bargaining chip do you have too when it comes down to it? Like, oh, you want me? Well, I guess you're willing to do it for free or something like that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he approached me and it was all good. It was all fair, man. It was just like a long-winded kind of rush deadline thing for me. Like it wasn't like he talked to me about it and then he had to decide what kind of helmet he was going with because he switched brands. So he was like trying out a whole bunch of different helmets. And by the time I got it, there was like 1 month to get her done. And I think that's like normally not a problem for mask painters, but mine was like particularly crazy. So, I mean, I did like, I've said it in tons of interviews and shit, but I did like 200 hours on that thing. So, or 250 hours, I think it might be. And I did that compressed in like less than a month. So I was just like working,
Jesus, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. The way I said it was like, you did 10-hour days, 25 days, you got 250 hours. Like it seems insane, but I'm including like, my design drawings and redraws, like, I mean, I struggled with some areas and kind of revamped. So yeah, it was a ton of time, more time than I normally spend on things, but I knew it was going to be probably like a pretty big deal.
Nice.
And that's when I always do it anyway, man. I put like too much work in every job.
Yeah. Plus, I guess if you're like painting Carey Price's helmet, it helps you get through the time a bit better. You're like, this is gonna be so fucking sick on his head.
Absolutely, yeah. And sometimes I almost like need that like deadline or like the fact that it's a big deal is like really helps to motivate me because I get on other jobs and I'm like, oh, I just can't force myself to work and working alone. That can be a struggle by yourself and for yourself. There's nobody making me go to work. So I need to like want to. And sometimes it's just forcing yourself to or whatever. But yeah, it was cool. And I was like happy to work on it because I was like excited about it and stoked and, going to be cool to see on TV and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it blew up. Like they like the guy, I guess the announcers and stuff like zoomed in on it, and like I saw you being like focused on the internet and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Like I knew I was gonna do a good job.
Yeah,
and I thought that it would be really good, but I think it was like more well received than I thought. Like it basically was like this is like the sickest mask going and all these kind of things, which is great to hear because it's also basically my first one for the NHL. So
yeah,
made a bit of a splash, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah, like it was a lot more detailed. Like you and me were talking before the podcast about like how much detail was in it because it was pretty good. Like there's like the little lens with the little guy on it and the skull and all the stuff. Whereas like we were talking about Markstrom's mask, his new one this year with Calgary, and it's basically just a logo on each side.
Yeah.
And I was saying, well, I was just guessing because I have an opinion on everything. And I was like, maybe some of the goalies are going more simple this year because it's all through the camera. Like there's
just for TV time.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they wanted a little simpler so it shows up on TV better.
Maybe I'd almost like make the argument that the opposite is like when it's on TV, they zoom in and you get some really good looks at it. When you're in the stands, like an idea is that in the nosebleeds, you can still see what you're looking at, and a detailed mask like mine should be like kind of hard to see, but I actually think it passes that test. Like when I see it and it's shot from afar, it still looks like he's got kind of like a skull on his head,
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it passes that test, but a lot of times I've definitely done ones that are like crazy, and from any kind of distance, it's just a wild mix of colors, you know.
Mhm.
So it does. Some people don't like that, and that's why specifically they just want like a logo on it, because from a mile away you can still read it clear as day.
Yeah.
So it's styles. It's what people want, you know. Like not everybody loved it, so it sort of was like a love it or hate it mask, and it's very different. Apparently for Carey Price, he always just sort of has the classic like logos and colors.
Yeah.
So this is like none of those things, but it's also what he asked. So
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
don't hate me for it. I just did the best I could with what I was asked to do, you know. And mostly people love it. It's just that it's so drastically different for them that you know, some hardcore fans are like, I like it, but I don't like it for price. And I'm like, well, if he wants it, what do you get to decide what somebody else likes? You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a weird thing. But people and sports fans especially are like, hold shit real close to the heart. So whatever, you know, it is what it is. But mostly it was mostly great reviews. And then, you know, there's always some haters.
Yeah, I guess I could see why, like some people, like it's a lot, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it, it's more metal than you're used to seeing, like with the sculpt and the like technology and stuff. And the only other kind of metalish helmet I could think of was when Leonard had that hand-drawn one in, where was he? Buffalo, St. Louis? I don't know, but
I'm not familiar. I don't know.
Yeah, Leonard had one because he's like, Robin Leonard's a huge metalhead. So he had one that was like all like scribbles, and he wanted it to look like it was hand drawn and shit. It was pretty
sweet. Yeah, the hand drawn things like pretty big. Like Dave Art's all over that kind of stuff, and then everyone copies suits, so they're it's all over the place. That sort of sketched look or whatever, which is cool too, for sure. And if it's the first one to do it, that starts the trend, right? So
yeah, exactly. Like the one trend I want. So before I say how much I hate this trend, I just want to make sure you haven't done any of. Well, I guess Carey Price's was your first NHL one, so you haven't done the one where it looks like a goalie wearing a mask on the mask.
Yeah, like, no, I haven't done that. But I mean, my only qualm with those ones is that usually like these guys aren't getting the skin tone right. There's like one I saw, and the guy's like orange, you know. And I just sort of like, yeah, you gotta match that skin tone a little bit better. The idea is cool. Like whoever did it first, it's like that's a cool look, and it's an homage. I'm sure you're not down, but it's an homage.
Don't say it's a cool idea.
Whatever, you know. Yeah. I really kind of like the ones that look like it's sort of like something on it, you know. It is like it's like a head on top of it, like they're wearing a mask. Like mine is like that, you know. And I think some of my favorite skeleton helmets that I've done are like that, you know. They look like a lion, they look like whatever. I just think it like stands out as like a pretty wild look, you know. Versus like pictures of it on the sides and stuff, which I mean I've done a ton of too. But the ones that sort of, and it's like a weird thing to work with, like a 3D shape, so it like has to look good from like the side, but also makes sense from the front, you know. It's like a bit of a challenge, and I think I take that into account, and I like that challenge a little bit. I maybe done enough of them that I sort of have a handle for it. But
yeah, I guess the best example of the like looking like it is Jonathan Quick always has the like night helmet thing, and like it's cool. And like I love it, and it's funny because it's like every couple of years he'll just like get a revamp of the same design, and I'm like, I don't even think, why would you fuck with something so perfect? Like, because for the Kings and stuff. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, no, it does. It is like people. That's one of the qualms that people were saying about mine. They're like, it looks like it should be for the Kings kind of a deal, you know, like the colors are like silver, and I'd love to do a version of Quicks, man. I think I would like rock the shit out of that, you know. But I mean, I also wouldn't like, you know, steal them from his artist or whatever, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to step on any toes and get like,
it'd be like a thing. Like if you approach me, then it's all good, you know. But again, I'm not sending unsolicited emails to people trying to be like, hey, you should get me to paint your shit.
So Jonathan
they can
Quick,
find me.
If you're listening to this, just hit him up. He said said he's not going to ask you. It's like I'm trying to set up like a high school date. It's like he likes you, but he doesn't want to ask you.
Yeah.
So if you ask him,
check yes or no. You know, do you think I'm cute? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
I was gonna say before, when you're talking about I think, what was it? It was like you did one that was a marble lion.
Yeah, sure.
I love that one.
Sweet.
That's very good for our listeners.
Right.
Because we don't have a picture.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm doing right now too. It's cool, and it's got like a kind of marble, like working with like a clothing company, Crooks and Castles. I don't know if you heard of them. They're kind of G, which is
Yeah.
all right, you know. So
Mhm.
different for me, but like the guys have been really great to work with, and for me in the long run, I think it'll be good because there can be some residual income because I'll get a portion of like sales and things like that as
Oh,
well.
nice. So it's like,
Yeah,
are they gonna put it on like, I don't know how
yeah.
this works, but they put it on like a t-shirt, and I guess they could keep the design and put it on other stuff too.
Totally.
Oh man.
Totally. So I'm painting it as like a painting, and then
Yeah.
that will be sold in their like store in LA, the
Oh,
actual
cool.
original painting. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna try and talk about a deal like to try and do prints as well.
Hmm.
But really it's for t-shirt, or not just t-shirt, but clothing designs, right? So they'll take
Yeah.
it, put it on sleeves, on the front, on the back of jackets, things like that, you know. And so all of it goes to, I mean, whatever the deal is. So I'm not going to get into all of it, but I'll get just like, you know, a portion of all of those sales. And like they have huge numbers, you know. They're like a big company. So it's great because if I tried to like design a t-shirt and sell it myself, like I'd sell a few, and that'd probably be the end of it, you know. Where
Yeah.
these guys, like, they sell mad numbers on like every article of clothing
Mhm.
that they have, you know. They basically do well on every design, and if they come out with something that's like linked to an artist they like and do like a special edition thing of it, it might be pretty cool. So they're branching off and doing something different, and working with me on that because that's a new thing for them too. And for me, I like it because, again, yes, I've always been working on this business model of like a one and done. Like even the
Yeah.
helmets and the goalie masks, like I paint them and
Hmm.
they're gone. I can't make money off of it anymore. You can't really
Hmm.
like sell prints of like a helmet, and maybe you could, but I don't really think so, you know. So it's going to be like I'm a laborer, you know. I basically have
Hmm.
to work or I'm not getting paid, where I need to look into more of a residual income style business model for myself.
Yeah. Like I have like what you were saying before about how the Crooks and Castles sell better with them, like because it's this thing where there's no gatekeepers on like the industry. Like you could set up your own Redbubble account and anybody who wants to
Yeah,
could go get it. But it's almost like there's still a gatekeeper because nobody really hears about it. Or that's what I'm
sure.
telling myself because nobody's buying my Redbubble t-shirts.
Yeah, or like I mean, you'd be as good as your own name or something, you know, or you
Yeah.
had like some really catch on design or something, and
Mhm.
maybe they work with algorithms like Instagram and TikTok, and if your shirt's selling well, they put it to the front page. I don't know how those things work, but this is just good because they basically have a platform and a huge audience and
Yeah.
and a name that if I just like can connect to it and then, you know, win off of that. And I mean, they've been treating me great so far, and like it's like they want me to win because if I win, they win, and everyone's happy, you know.
Nice.
So it's like a
Oh,
cool new thing for me.
you know what you should get them to make you, which would be the tightest thing ever. Since it's like, um, what's the proper way to? I like how it's like we're both white guys, so it's like hard to say like hip hop style. I guess you could just say hip hop style,
Sure,
but
sure.
like those satin, almost like old school track jackets. Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
puffy. You could get one of those with it all embroidered on the back. That would be tight. Like
yeah. They
from Drive, the Scorpion jacket, but with your
Yeah,
design on it.
right, sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they do like a lot of different kinds of printing. They can even like, you know, make things 3D, or
Hmm.
like anything that I put on that's gold, they could actually print it in gold instead of like my painted version of it. So I think
Yeah.
once I like do the design, they take it and roll and do all kinds of like cool shit with it. So we'll see, because it'll be the first one, right? So sort of a testing ground, but yeah, I'm pretty into it, and I think it's a maybe a little new chapter for me too. We'll see what happens there.
Nice. Do you want to? This is the most abrupt segue ever, but do you want to switch gears and
Yeah,
talk about
totally.
penises? How,
So
how's your
I love
penis?
dicks. I love dicks. How did you know, man? Yeah, let's talk about penis stuff. Dude.
Yeah. So
No,
it's funny because I just saw this article today, and it's like they did a study about pollution, and
mm,
they came up with all this stuff like pollution and global warming, and they're like global warming will cause this, and it's like they're like since the 70s the sperm rate of males has dropped like 2% every year, and you're like, oh yeah.
yeah,
And then they go through all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, by the way, and it's like, what is it, number 4 on the list that they're going through? Like number 3 is like women's uteruses will be affected and the birth
Yeah,
rate
it's
will
almost like a
drop, and you're like,
children of men scenario where like eventually, if that continues, we won't be able to make new people.
yeah,
Like,
and then
well, we'll
everybody's
see,
like,
but
yeah, everybody's like, whatever. Then I can raw dog more often. I don't have to worry
yeah,
about that.
as long as my dick's still big, what do I care?
Yeah.
What's number 4?
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck, it shrinks your dick. What?
Yeah.
So now it's like, so I'll just read you the entrance from the study. So it's like,
I'm in.
because of PFOAs and other chemicals, men's penis sizes are shrinking across the board, as well as the volume of the testes, which is even worse. Like, I mean, if the volume of your testes shrinks, that just makes your dick look bigger. So
Yeah, I was
one
gonna
of
say I
those
don't
is
really
worse
care
than the
about the
other.
size of my balls, you know. If a girl's like, you have little balls, I'm like, who cares? As long as they're still got a big dick, we're cool, right? Like, yeah, that's the one thing everyone's concerned about. Guys are concerned about, by the way.
That reminds me, I had this girlfriend once, and we were watching Sex in the City because I was at her house.
Sure.
It was like whatever. I was like 24, so I was trying to be like cool
Sure.
guy and not be a dick. So her and her roommate and 2 other friends. So I'm in a room with 4 girls watching Sex in the City, and it was like the episode where the one guy, I don't know, he lost a ball or something, so he was looking at prosthetic testicles, and then they hold one up on the screen, and I was like, Jesus, those are huge balls. And all 4 girls turned to me and they're like, no, they aren't. And I was like, you have tiny balls? I just like outed myself in this room.
I got an opposite story for you. We were like young and doing stupid shit. We used to like Rochambeau, like from South Park, where you like kick each other in the nuts, you know, just, you know, stupid things because they did it on a TV show. So we think it's funny. So we were playing ping pong in like a house that I have like with a bunch of roommates, and I like put my balls on the table because you're young and stupid, and my buddy hit him with like the racket thing, or tried to, or hit him, but he didn't like destroy my nuts or anything like that. But then I pulled him out and like look at them, and he was like, dude, your nuts like super swollen, like, you okay? And I was like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? So I got the opposite story, and I don't think I got huge balls. I'm not saying that shit. I think that I have no idea, but compared to his reaction was that I had these swollen issue going on, and I was like, oh man, I'm fine.
So ladies, if you're a size queen for balls, go to Jordon and not me. Apparently my balls won't.
Who knows, dude?
Actually, maybe if a woman's a ball size queen, this is the perfect thing, because if the pollution happens and the men's dick shrink, then their balls will look bigger and it'll be perfect.
And it's all relative.
The best part, sorry, you go
I
ahead.
was when I like read that thing, because I read the links you sent me. I'm thinking, but how do they know to equate it back to that? You know what I mean? Like, you've done a general study and penises, I guess, seem smaller. And then they're like, I guess it's pollution. But I mean, maybe it's like the processed foods we eat, I mean, there's so many things it could be.
Yeah.
To like equate it to pollution is where I go, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a ton of shit going on. There's a lot of variables here. What scientific test we got going on, you know?
Yeah, and there's that fucking skinny jean epidemic that we just went through like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all sitting with our laptops on our laps, shrinking our junk that way.
That is supposed to adversely affect your groin. So don't do that anymore.
If all these new kids come out and all these young kids and Gen whatever's come out and they got littler dicks than us, that's cool for us old guys, man. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to keep us. Hey, in our 70s, when we don't have anything else, we'll still have that.
Yeah, that's it. We'll be mad at whatever new type of person there is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how all old people are racist. It'll be like, we'll be that version of hating whatever new things come along like old people do.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be cooler than they are, but you never know.
Hey, speaking of old dicks.
Okay.
That's a good segue. As opposed to that last one that was terrible.
I know where you're going.
Did you had to see that video of Biden tripping up the stairs, right?
Yeah, that was the only one that I had seen besides what link you sent me. I saw that. I saw it made fun of a couple. I saw one where Mario in Mario Kart went past him and shot a banana at him and kept slipping on the bananas as he fell progressively further down, you know?
Yeah.
So the internet's great with things like that. But I mean, as far as it actually goes in being a news story, it's like, I don't know, an old man slipped walking upstairs. How is that a news story?
It's probably like, I don't know who's the genius who like gives these old men like those slippery dress shoes with the slippery leather.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Carpet on the stairs, like even Pence slipped. I just thought it was funny because Biden, the dickhead, made that whole video when Trump was like walking down that ramp, and then he was like going up and down the ramp real fast and be like, hey, look at me going up and down this ramp. And then he like, it's almost like falls. His comeuppance.
I saw people saying like everyone was up in arms when Trump slipped, but no one's saying anything about Biden. I was like, I don't remember the Trump slip. I just don't follow the shit enough, you know? So I don't recall it. But yeah, I guess it came full circle on him. But I'm like, yo, people slip, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't all be watched so closely that if you slip. I slipped on the ice this year and smashed my shin into the side of my vehicle and fell down early in the morning. That's no way to start your day. Imagine there's like media people being like, oh, why did JBo slip? You know?
Yeah. Are you going to let this guy paint your goalie mask after he can't?
Yeah, after he falls, he can't even stand up. You know? That's reasonable.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it's fucking so dumb that this is a news story when it's like, so obvious what happened. But
I like the fly thing. The fly thing was funny to me. I like that.
Oh, yeah, that was.
I like when they zoomed in and it's like Jeff Goldblum laying down, all sexy. You know, I just like how the internet, man. People are funny. Memes are great. You know, I like this shit. It's good.
And this is the last political thing we'll talk about, and it's
sure we can. I just won't know what you're talking about for most of it.
Oh no, I don't like to talk about politics because it's like I'll get it wrong. And then people will try to argue with me. And I was like, I barely cared in the first place. Let alone
now this is my day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is my day. This is what I'm doing on Twitter on my coffee break. But Madame Tussaud. Hey, there's another more French content for the podcast. Has
good.
Well, this one's actually not in France. It's in San Antonio. And they removed a Trump wax figure because people kept punching it.
Yeah, I read that. That's good. That's funny, man. That's funny stuff.
Which is awesome. And it's funny because they show a picture of it. Sorry, I just got to check to make sure this is the actual one. And it says, oh yeah. So in the picture where they have them between Putin and Kim Jong-un. And it's like, if I was going to punch any of those three, I mean, it'd probably still be Trump because he's got the most, like, imagine having
punchable face,
a more punchable face than Kim Jong-un with that hair.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'd never punch Putin because that man is like,
that's
the Russian
shit,
Chuck
Don't
Norris.
do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
Even a wax figure, I'd be like, he's gonna know about this.
He's
gonna kill me.
Yeah. It's actually him, probably. He just goes to those places and looks like a stone, you know?
Yeah, he's just he got bored, so he's just waiting to murder someone.
Yeah, he might. Or Trump, he's not doing that, you know.
It's so funny though. Like, you're at a wax museum and you just fucking punch the statue.
Yeah, it's weird.
They were like, yeah, it's happening all the time. And you're like, well, I guess people are still like, even though he's gone, they're still upset and they want to lash out.
I'm interested in how like the news is just like done. Like, I just don't hear about American politics anymore, which I'm happy about. But it was like nuts before. It was also funny. Like, I was like, this shit's entertaining sometimes, you know? Like, Trump's hilarious, man. But it's a horrible person, but it's hilarious, some of this shit that he says, you know?
Yeah, Trump was under a microscope, like, I guess, like you said, because he always said dumb shit. But now, like, Biden's like, they're like, oh, he's bombing Syria. And you're like, I don't care either.
Yeah. Boring.
I mean, I should care.
Did he say anything racist?
Yeah. You know? Did he make fun of anybody?
Yeah. That's just not Jerry Springer enough for me. You know, that's the shit I want.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know who else just popped up in the news? The Vatican, which, how often do you like hear Vatican content on anything? You're like, I mean, there was that cool guy, Pope. Fuck, this is what we need Derek for. Like, Derek's the other guy who's usually on this, but he's away. And I'm always like, hey, Derek, I don't know what's going on politically or with this like random news thing. And he always seems to know. Like, my question for Derek would be like, is this the same Pope that was the cool Pope like a year or so ago?
I wouldn't know either. I am reading what's it called? Angels and Demons, which is the first of like the Da Vinci Code series of books right now. Man, you know, I actually have never seen the movies, which is why I was like, oh, this would be pretty great. I'll read it and then I can watch the movies without, you know, having seen it first. And it's like good, but it's really, I think if you're really into history, you'd love it more because it's like it's just teaching me constantly. It's like constantly teaching me, which I guess would be good. But I'm also like, let's just get to the shit, you know? Like, let's just get to the. And it is like it's getting pretty intense and stuff now, but tons of Vatican stuff. So I'm like all over Vatican, popes, cardinals. I'm reading that shit right now. So it was up my alley. It was, you know, it was well timed for me anyway.
Nice, yeah.
This story.
So this actually wasn't the Pope, which I thought it was. Because the other Pope, he was like, cool guy. He's like, yo, man, we should be cool with the homosexuals or whatever you're allowed to call them. And now, like, the Vatican's Orthodoxy office, which sounds like a bunch of cool guys to me. Like, that's who you want to hang out with. The Orthodoxy office. Yeah. They basically made, oh my God. Here, I'll read this to you. And, like, even I'll read one paragraph and tell me if it bores you. So, the Vatican's Orthodoxy Office, the Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith, issued a formal response to a question about whether Catholic clergy have the authority to bless gay unions. The answer, contained in a 2-page explanation published in 7 languages and proved by Pope Francis, was negative.
Yeah.
Come on, AP. You can't pare that down a bit? Jeez.
Yeah, or flare it up or something. But that would probably be too gay. It would, you know, you can't do that. But like, dude, I'm also like not at all surprised. Like I just go, I mean, they're not gonna like bless gay marriage. That it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, it's like
that the church is not behind that, or the Vatican isn't. I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm just not surprised.
It's like the Vatican's like, look, we can't have 2 guys marry each other. You got to get it out of your system when you're a priest and it's a little kid. But past that shit's okay. Yeah, exactly. Fuckers.
It is weird. It's a weird double standard.
Yeah.
You know? They're like reverse us with the age thing, you know? They're like, it's cool before 18, after 18. We're not really that anymore.
They're probably just like, we don't want to accept gay marriage because you're just going to fucking make us be Woody Allen priests and marry these kids we've been touching when we just want to move on. Ooh, that's a bad. I'm like, that's a bad joke.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a horrible subject.
We should move on. I mean,
that's how I feel about it.
Kid touching content.
Do not endorse any of the whatever. I mean, you know, the same. I'm
trying to joke about it to highlight how gross and bad it is, but even I'm like failing at that. So we're just gonna move on. Let's see where we at. Oh, here's something that has nothing to do with touching kids.
Perfect.
That is dozens of people in Taiwan, guys and girls, are changing their name to Salmon.
Yes. I read it. It's really interesting. It's funny.
I mean, I've been kind of hard up for sushi, but I've never been hard up enough for free sushi to change my name to Salmon. So what's happening is this one sushi place in Taiwan said that anybody who has like the Chinese characters for salmon in their name gets a free all-you-can-eat sushi. Like not even for life or for a week. It's just one sitting of all-you-can-eat sushi.
Well, but it was like for them and like up to 5 of their friends or something.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
It also seemed like it was the equivalent of like $3 American to change your name legally there.
Yeah, the thing is, it's what's NT?
I imagined it was just like their currency, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Like we're CAD. Like I imagine that's just what that was. Yeah, I have no idea. But like I imagine the other dollar amount is like our American dollar probably.
Oh, so, this is from the BBC, so that's probably British pounds. So $3, that's like 5.5 American dollars.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, even for that, like, it's probably just like pretty reasonable. They're like, it's funny because I'll change my name. It'll cost me. I'm just going to go with, American dollars, whatever, $5. I'll get like $500 worth of sushi between me and all my friends. And then tomorrow I'll change it back.
Yeah, I just read that 2 other people managed to eat around 460 British pounds worth of sushi. And on one hand, I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of sushi. That'd be awesome. But on the other hand, I'm like, do paperwork to change my name and then change it. Like,
yeah. If it's that easy, I guess, maybe that's the deal. But they're saying it's like wasting a lot of people's time, resources. That's why they're annoyed. They're like, fucking paperwork so these guys can get free sushi meal,
Yeah, I love how they're like, guys, stop it. You're making too much fucking work for the bureaucracy. And then I think it says you can only legally change your name 3 times. So that's like playing hot potato. It's like you change your name to Salmon, and then later some other company, like maybe a chicken.
You got to change it. Then you got to change it back. That's 2.
And then you change it once again.
Promo, and you're like, oh, I'm stuck with it.
And then you're
Salmon now.
You're stuck with your name Johnny Chicken for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're butter chicken. You're like, I wanted the free Indian food, whatever.
Yeah. So, Jordan, if I came up to you and I was like, bro, like this, not even involve the company or whatever. If I was like, dude, I will buy you all the sushi you and 3 of your friends can eat if you change your name to Jordan Sushi. Would you do it?
Nah, I'm not going through that effort, dude. I'll just pay for my own sushi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel about it. But I don't know. I think they were like students. It seemed like it's like a funny thing. Like, you remember way back in the day, guys would like tattoo like Budweiser on their head for like $1 million or something. It was like and the guy's like, whatever, I'll just grow my hair back out later. And I just got all this money. And it's like almost like a funny thing in a news story. Like, that's frat boy shit, dude. Frat boys would do that no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I'm too old to do that. I'm balding. I'm sitting. You're gonna see that. I don't even like Budweiser.
You're just gonna see the BU and the ER on the fucking widow's peak.
Yeah, the red spikes coming through. For sure.
Oh, the worst part is this one lady changed her name to Qua Salmon Rice Bowl. Not even just like
she went
Emily Rice Bowl or whatever. She's just like made like the whole fucking menu item.
Yeah. There's even people with the last name Salmon already, Yeah,
I think that's what the company intended. And then these people were like changing their name and they're like, wow, I guess. I mean, it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good publicity because these 2 guys in fucking Canada are going to talk about it and we're in Taiwan. So
yeah, that's true. It's almost like, like Kraft, the bar, they'll do on your birthday, they give you your age off of the meal as a percentage. So they give your turn 40, they'll give you 40% off your bill. So if just like a bunch of 100-year-olds went one day, it just like becomes like a senior's place on your birthday, and there's just like a bunch of 100-year-olds getting free meals, that would backfire on them like this. It's like, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Whereas if you and me went there, I'd be like $20 into the 40 off, and I would just like lose track of what I ordered, and I would just order. I'd be like, I got so much money left, and I'd be like, send me a prime rib and whatever else.
Yeah,
like, give me some shot skis. Do they do shot skis there? Is that a thing that they do?
I know they do beer. They do craft beer for sure. Probably do hard alcohol or bar. I don't fucking know.
They could do like shot skis, like 1 ounce of beer. Well, anyways, whatever dumb, ridiculous thing they had, I would buy. And then your bill would be like through the roof. So it's totally smart on their part. Unless you say the seniors roll in and then just fucking bankrupt the place because
that's what they're not expecting. And then also people are like, I don't want to hang out here. There's a bunch of old people, This just ruins stuff.
Although if there's a bunch of people drinking $100 worth of beer and they're 100 years old, I'm going to watch the show.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I mean,
Maybe some cool fights or something. Watch like, so I'm thinking when you go to like a cougar bar and there's like a cover band playing and you're watching like, you know, like 60-year-old dudes hit on like 50-year-old women. You're like, this is weird. This is weird. They're like out for like a work party or something like that.
Yeah.
It happens too. Everyone's got a date. Everyone's trying to get there, you know, but it's odd to see, you know, it makes sense when when it's like, you know, 20-year-olds. That adds up.
Yeah. But yeah, like once the twerking starts at the 100-year-old party, you got to bounce.
Yeah, you do. This is going to be a hip replacement.
I mean, that's a pretty good night.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Speaking of old ladies getting freaky, this mom did pretty much everybody's biggest fear with the deep fake thing. Was so her daughter was like a cheerleader, and I guess she had like these I guess it was like her rivals to join the cheerleading squad. Her mom took their faces and put them on deep fake. Like she actually went to a deep fake company and hired like the good AI kind, not just like the kind you use on TikTok. And she made videos of them drinking alcohol and doing illicit drugs and stuff so that they would, I guess, get kicked off the purity clause for the cheerleading squad.
That's crazy shit, man. It's like it's devious to like a level that I'm impressed with a little bit. Yeah. But that's wild shit, man. Also cool that the technology is like a thing. They were talking in that article that you could they could kind of find it out now. Like there's something with like the eyes, the glare in the eyes. So they can kind of figure it out. But like crazy to do that. And then of course I think they were saying that the daughter didn't know and had nothing to do with it, but they're going to say that regardless, right?
That's like the daughter of that whole like admissions scandal. She's like, I had no idea my mom paid for me to get into college. I thought my straight D average got me in. Like, I mean, it makes sense to say you didn't know your mom was like trying to juice
of course,
but
man.
Of course you knew. Like,
I agree. But also, I mean, it's like I'm surprised it was a scandal. Isn't it how that shit works? You just like pay your way into Harvard, don't you? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's funny because they're like, oh, this happened this time for the first time ever, even though it was like,
you're like
a very streamlined process that certain people knew about. As far as this deep fake things, like if my mom was like if I had a job interview and my mom like deep fake the other dudes or like whoever's up against the job for me.
That's love, dude. That's the kind of love that only a mother has, you know?
Yeah, that's like you gotta up your Mother's Day cards and gifts after that. Like you're like, fuck, mom went all out making like pictures of these dudes blowing each other. Now I have to like go get her the big basket from Costco instead of the little one.
Absolutely, man. That's a mother's love, dude. It knows no bounds.
Man, I don't even think my mom would change her name to Salmon for me. So no. I'm not holding out for my mom to get into the deep fake game.
Yeah, moms are the shit though, dude. They're good. They're good. My mom's like the family therapist, you know. We'll talk about our problems. She's great. Mom's good shit.
Yeah.
What up, mom? She's not watching this. There's no way. She might. She follows me pretty closely.
That'd be good. I don't think my mom watches this because she's still on fucking rural Alberta dial-up internet, so I don't think she can watch it.
Wow. Yeah.
I told her how to
like
download
my dad. He doesn't even have a cell phone. You know what I mean? Some people just like aren't willing to change. They don't get with the times.
I couldn't even imagine like.
Yo, speaking of which, I have like a potential like that my like phone will die. I just might have to like unplug the headphones so that I can plug the phone in at some moment, or I'll just lose you. Wow. But anyway, we'll keep rolling.
If I lose you, then that's what happened, and then I'll just I'll just be like, it would be like boop, and I'm like, all right, bye.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, we're at an hour, so we could do a couple more, and then.
Let's just keep going. If the thing dies, the thing dies. Let's let that call the time. Jeez.
Yeah.
These skulls of beers are starting to get to me. Check this out.
Nice.
Class.
Those are pretty dope.
Yeah, they're pretty good, man. It's good.
Now that I've got you all loosened up, tell me the good stuff. Give me the inside 411. Oh, I was gonna tell you. I was thinking about stuff to talk to you about this podcast. I wanted to tell you this time I name dropped you on an airplane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because I think this was like, oh god, this had to be like 7, 8 years ago. So I
Wow.
met you
Okay.
like
I wasn't
I
even
think
that
like
cool back then.
10 years ago, right? About. Anyways, yeah, I met
Sure.
you, and then
Something
I
like that.
knew this was back when you were starting to do the Olympic helmets, like for
Okay.
the
Skeleton.
yeah, the skeleton stuff. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I was on my way to Vegas and I was talking to this girl, and God, it was so long ago I can't even remember how your name came up. And she was talking about her helmet. And I was like, "Oh, you should get your helmet painted like this cool guy. I know he just started doing helmets." And she's like, "Oh," and then she said your name, and I was like, "Yeah, that guy. Me and him are great friends." And then like I was talking to her the whole way to Vegas, and then nothing happened. So I name dropped you, trying to impress a girl.
Yeah.
But then
But she had her helmet painted by me,
think
or just knew of me anyway. That's
either
pretty good.
she had or her friend had. I
Mm,
don't want to specifically say because I don't want you to figure out who it was and then
right.
bring up how, because like the worst possible case scenario of me telling you this is you know exactly who it is and you go, "Hey, did you talk to this guy on the plane who name dropped me?" And
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, that fucking loser. I ditched him." Yeah, but I don't think she'd call me a loser. She probably doesn't remember me because I imagine
Yeah.
female athletes who are in the Olympics or
Yeah. Get hit on guys sitting beside them in a plane all the time.
yeah, just
You
be
know?
like, "Whoa, you're an Olympic medal. Are you an Olympic level athlete? I'm a pervert, so what's up?"
Yeah, exactly. I'm a guy, so I'm going to harass you in
Yeah,
the entire flight.
yeah,
Are your
exactly.
headphones on? No. I've got something to say. I'm one of those guys. I like talking to people on the plane. I think people are like, fuck off and let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, where are you from? What do you do? You know, I like that. It's just like passes the time.
Yeah,
I talk to people. It's good.
It didn't feel like I wasn't getting the like leave me alone signals, but I might not be the best at signals. But yeah, yeah, like
that's good. It worked out for you. I can't even name drop myself, and people would be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. What are you talking about? You never heard of your art before, you know? Now it'd be easier. I'd be like, Carey Price, like, oh, okay, you see that skull one? I still think it hasn't happened yet, though. Like the skull design, they're like, I don't really watch hockey. I'm like,
okay. I like now I'll name drop you. People won't believe me. I'll be like, because when your helmet came out, and I was like, oh shit, guys, look at this. Like because I'm in this fantasy hockey league, and then I posted a pitch. We'll like post like random shit, like when Leonard gets new pads or someone gets new shit, and we'll like post it. And then I posted the picture of your helmet, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is Price's new helmet. I know the guy who made it." And they're like, "No, you don't." And I was like, "Yeah, but I do.
I do though."
Do you want me to show you?
We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah, he's friends with me. I follow him on Instagram, and they're like, "That doesn't mean you know him." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
whatever. I'll get him on my podcast. Then it'll prove.
Then you'll prove it. Yeah,
that's my whole ulterior.
Well, hey, it's cool to be looked at like some kind of celebrity. Far from it, that's for sure. But it's cool, man. That's cool. I think it's like, I think sometimes you do cool things. I think my friends, everyone's proud of you and shit, right? So they'll do the same thing too. Like my buddy said that his guy from work was like, "Yo, did you see Price's new helmet?" And then he was like, "That's my buddy," So it's like, it's cool to hear shit like that for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, a guy just got like Price's mask tattooed on his leg.
I saw that on your Instagram
story today. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, do you know that guy?
No, I don't know any of it. Like I got sent, actually Price sent me the guy had got like half of it done and then they just finished it today. So when it got sent, like Price actually sent it to me, which was cool. So
Price somehow, that's
somehow someone sent it to him. Yeah. And then we were talking a lot earlier on, like when I was painting it, he was following really closely and commenting a lot. And now that it's all like happened and done with, it's sort of trickled off. The bromance is slowed, But yeah, he's cool. He's great. He was great, dude, man, for sure.
Now that he like has to play hockey every day, it's actually
I think as soon as it like started, it basically like like I could see, you can see on your story, like who's seeing it. And he was like pretty avidly following me.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
now I can see that he has like not even been on Instagram for like 3 days or some shit. So I think they're in hockey now. They're in hockey now.
Yeah.
Might not even be talking to their wives that much. They're just like, don't mess with you. You're playing hockey,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's all that shit's cool. And it's cool. I mean, it's like a spike. Like I have these things sometimes you have like a cool job and then it goes back to regular life and then something else spikes up, and it's cool and it adds to the growth of your, brand and whatever. So those moments are cool. But they won't be the last one and it'll be another high of, many others, I'm assuming.
Oh, definitely. Like I was like, when you say like the cool job thing, I'm like trying to think of like, what's the story I could share about my job? But it was like, I probably told this on the podcast, but it was funny because it's like with welding, people are like, oh, you must make so much money you could go anywhere. And it's like, well, yeah, it's just like anything else. If you do the shit no one else wants to do, you can make tons of money.
Yeah,
but I like,
sure.
There was this thing where it was like a traveling job where you go to the Bahamas and they have a ship in dry dock. And then we were redoing the floors in the kitchen and you hear that and you're like, fuck yeah, I'll go work in the Bahamas for 2 weeks. And then you get there and you're welding in the Bahamas heat on the floor of a cruise
with
ship.
like also fire. So it's like even hotter. Yeah,
exactly. And then you're like burning yourself. And then it's like you like can't even enjoy the Bahamas because you're like got to get up early to go to work the next day. Like it was still cool and it was awesome, but it was like I found a way to not enjoy it. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And that happens too. I mean, like I think when you're like at a place for work, you don't. I mean, depending on how they've timed things out, like you don't even necessarily get to enjoy it. Or if you're like a band and you're on like tour or something, you see these cities. Like I didn't see it. I saw like the inside of a vehicle, and then I saw the inside of the venue. Then we moved to the next city. Like I've never seen it. I didn't even see any sights or any shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that happens. You're just like you're busy. You're working.
I was gonna ask you about that, like, because you're if I get this wrong, I'm an ass.
Oh, don't worry about it.
You're metal. You're also a metal drummer. Not only do you airbrush goalie helmets in the NHL, but you're also a fucking metal drummer, which is like another whole level of cool, and hard and stuff.
Yeah, I like the tricky shit.
I'm trying to
Illuminated Minerva.
Yeah, I remember Minerva.
I know it. Yeah. I remember it.
So are you guys still a band?
Yeah, so we're still a band, but COVID has just paused us, and like not just shows, like we basically haven't even really been jamming. I moved as well throughout all this. And so we were basically rebuilding my new garage into a jam pad. And we essentially finished when like the second shutdown happened. And was I just making a short story of it? Like one of the guys is like pretty serious about all the COVID stuff because of his work and things like that. So we're just like not even jamming. I've actually gone the longest spell of my life without playing drums for sure.
Crazy.
I've just been in bands for forever, like since I was like 15 or 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I basically have had, jam schedules plus just the drumming I do, for practice and things like that. I probably have barely ever missed a week or two besides like going on vacations. And now I have like almost not drummed in a year. And it's not entirely, because the jam pad thing, right? So I don't even have a drum kit set up. And then I'm in another band, like a cover band, just kind of for fun. And the same thing goes there. There's like somebody that's like pretty serious about it. I would jam. I'm not overly concerned. Like you follow the rules, you wear a mask, you do whatever. I do what they tell me to do, but I'm not overly worried about it. And it's a small group of people. But there's basically there's for whatever reason, COVID has just put all of that on hold. And I've been so busy with the art world and everything like that that I've just been busy. So I haven't really been doing it. So now I'm like, we play like a pretty technical form of music and drumming in it is hard. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be rusty. I'm going to be rustier than I've ever been,
Oh yeah.
But it'll be cool. And it'll be like a new, devotion for me when we get back into it. Hopefully I won't just be like too sloppy legged when I go to try and do
that
super fast double bass. Yeah, exactly. Man.
All those blast beats. You're gonna have to switch to like grunge or something and do
yeah. Oh man,
covers.
that's the cover band so good. It's just
yeah.
like so easy. Get drunk and just play these songs that are like, I don't want to say below my skill level, but that's basically where it's at. It's like just fun. I don't have to be concerned. Like when Illuminated plays a show, I'm like, man, I can have like one drink. I'm like going to be, if you start getting too many drinks, you start losing your motor skills, And but for the cover bands, like by the third set, we're all drunk, but we get through it and it's good,
Nice, yeah.
So it's like good. And then they both have their qualities because like one of them's like my baby, my wife. We've nurtured this thing and grown it for so long, and it's super important to you. And then the other one's like just this like fun fling thing that I don't care about. It's my side piece, dude. I got my bottom bitch. It's all good. And that's it. So, but yeah, my like, my deal with music is like it's changed over the years. It's like it was my like super main thing and hobby for so many years. So I guess that's how you can get away with being good at two different things or whatever. It's like I was just so devoted to it for so long. I got really good at drumming, and then I've coasted for 10 years. Not really gotten better, man. Probably gotten sloppier in the time, but then gotten good at airbrushing and like maintained good at. So if you knew me through the drum world, you'd be pretty impressed in my art, and if you knew me in the art world, you'd be pretty impressed in my drumming. But they're both manageable because I'm not learning them both at the same time.
That's
just
true.
like spent a decade on each thing, and then you can move on to another thing. Or that's how I seem to do it.
Yeah, it's almost like a ladder. You like do one more than the other.
Yeah, and it's like the thing is that they're all of those things, and I guess any skill or like there's just so much to learn that you can. It's not like I'm saying I got so good at drumming, I figured it out, I learned it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm so as good as you could be. So I moved on. It's no, man. Like now when I like see things like new drummers that are like so good, I'm just like, man, I can't compete with this anymore. Like if it became my job and the band became like super famous and that's all I put the time in, I could be these guys, but I don't. And I've gone on to this other things. So I'm just like happy to be like as good as I am and maintain that. And I'm not really like working on new drum techniques at this point in my life. I am working on new like art techniques and things like that. Like that's where it's gone. So I don't know, whatever, man. It's like a hobby became a jobby. The other one doesn't make as much money, so it's like it's there and I do it, and it's a passion and a love that I've had for a long time, so I'll maintain doing it. And now my probably newest thing that I'm into is like stop motion. I got a 10% battery warning.
Oh, okay.
We're good. We're still here. Still here.
We'll finish it out. Yeah. I saw the stop motion you were doing with the Mortal Kombat Nikes you made. Those were fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like one was Scorpion, one was Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
It was someone I recognized you made those for. Did you make them for them or did they buy them after you made them?
Yeah, I made them for him. It's Chris Brown. So like,
Chris Brown, shout out. That's like Carey Price, Chris Brown is like so much. Yeah.
So it depends what you're into. If you're into sports and shit, Carey Price is a bigger deal. The Carey Price thing has turned out to be a bigger deal because more people care about a goalie mask that Carey Price is wearing than like a pair of shoes that Chris Brown might wear one time. But obviously, Chris Brown is a more famous person as far as the world is concerned. But maybe not as beloved. Like Carey Price is like generally looked at as being like a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
And Chris Brown has obviously a history or a past.
Checkered past, we'll say.
Yeah, sure, man. And those things are what they are, man. Like that's what I meant. Like these spikes, they come and it's such a big deal. But I had like a guy ask me the other day, he's like, how are you getting these names? And shit. I'm like, I'm not trying to, man. You just do good work and people will find it or whatever.
You're just like, I'm basically a legend, whatever.
No, but it's just like not being concerned about that and doing good work, and you'll just like consistently do good work, and it'll get found, it'll get shared, it'll get whatever, right? But also, I don't even strive for it. And most of those deals that I've had have like, I don't want to say like left me sour, but people like expect something for nothing, so famous or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that specifically, and definitely not Carey Price. You know what I mean? I'm paid for that deal. It's all good, but it's just all these things, man. It's not like worth it. You just do good work. And
that's like when I was a photographer, slightly. Like I would do, like I did a couple weddings here and there, and so many people were like, "Hey, if you give me these pictures, like take these pictures of me, I'll get you exposure." And you're like, "I don't
Oh
really
man, my
need or
artist
want
life is being
exposure."
paid for
Yeah.
exposure, man. I have like a hard fight every time, just like trying to get paid, man.
Hmm.
Like just as an artist, just trying to get paid. I mean, not just getting paid, but getting paid well enough, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a constant fight, man, and the exposure thing is huge. Like it's just like, oh, it'll be great exposure for you, and I'm like, yeah, I guess it will be, but you know, how many likes or new followers do I need? Also, I do like these things that are like viral videos that arguably get me as much or more attention,
Yeah.
and I don't need someone to give it to me, kind of a deal. You know, that's not to be not saying that because like when Chris Brown like shared my video, I got like 10,000 new Instagram followers like the next week of, you know, like it was definitely like it's worth some shit. those kinds of shares, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. But anyway, that's all I'm saying is like it's not the point. It's like doing shit for celebrities. Like whatever, man. People are cool and nice people, and normal people are willing to pay and happy to pay too, you know. So
Yeah.
business is business, man. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's great. Um, yeah, I think we talked about everything I had on the docket. We're at over an hour, so we're good. Was there anything you wanted to talk about before your battery dies?
No, man, I got no real agenda. I just wanted to come say hi. You asked me to do it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it. I like this kind of shit. It's fun, you know, and it's good to catch up and all that
Yeah, it's a
stuff.
good
Anyway,
hangout.
had a couple skulls of beer, so I'm happy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the best part about this podcast. It's like, yeah, it's cool to like pretend I'm like some media person who's like, because I always wanted to do like a radio show when I was a kid. So it's like, it's awesome to just like interview people and talk, but it's also awesome to just like get on Zoom and hang out with you. Like I haven't talked to you in a couple of years, so it's good to just like fucking talk for like an hour and a bit. And like, because how often did you just be like, go up to someone and you're like, hey, let's talk for an hour about all these random news stories, and then we'll just shoot
Yeah,
shit. Like
totally.
it's totally a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that would be what happens. You do have a Zoom call with your buddy, and you get through the new like what's the new coronavirus news and what's the new Trump story, and then you just talk about shit that's going on in your lives, you know. So
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
similar. That's all I was treating it as. So it was good, man. Thanks for having me for sure.
Yeah, hey, no problem. Thanks for coming on. Anytime you want to come on, just hit me up.
Sure.
Yeah, so like I said before, your Instagram is JBo Airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Twitter too, right?
It's just everywhere, you know. If you
Yeah.
search JBo Airbrush, I mean that's my Facebook. Sometimes it's like one word at JBo Airbrush. Otherwise, it's like JBo space Airbrush, which is JBO. But you know, you can find me on those things.
Are you on TikTok as well?
I am on TikTok, dude.
How do you
I
feel
actually
about
like this shit.
TikTok?
I like it, man.
I do too.
I was like, I was hesitant, you know, but anything
Mhm.
you see that's like funny or like interesting video content, like even on Instagram now, it's a fucking TikTok video.
Yeah.
I like it. It kind of actually got me to be doing a lot of these more like creative videos because I feel like on Instagram you could just be like, here's my work, people like it. But you can't do that on TikTok. No one gives a shit. It's like, here's my work, but shot in this like cool way where the camera moves and things shift, and you're like, okay, well, I'll try shooting a video like that, and it gets way better. I mean, even though they do better on Instagram and all these things just follow it anyway. So now they got Reels, which is just TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, they just all copy each other and rehash the same shit. But it's good. I actually like it, man. There's funny stuff on there. There's cool life hacks. There's fucking kids twerking too, whatever. But if you don't follow that, you don't really get it in your feed, you know. My girlfriend's always just sending me like funny dog shit, and I just get like ton of like cute dog videos and funny. I follow a lot of funny stuff in skateboarding and art, and that's great. It's good. You get like what you're sort of interested in.
Yeah, I was like you. Like I was like, TikTok, and then I was like, oh. So I started making, because you can only make videos up to 1 minute. So I was like, I'm gonna get TikTok, and then I'll put 1 minute clips of this podcast up, and then I started like using it more and more. And then I found like my favorite thing still is I found this thing called Sasquatch or Squatch. And it's just this dude or girl, I don't know who it is, and they're in the forest dressed up as a Sasquatch, just playing covers on a saxophone. And it's like, that's the best example of that's his best example of what TikTok is. It's just like people doing these short things, and then there's like Actually, for music, it's really cool too, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people doing like loop music where you like do
Yeah.
10, like 5 seconds, record
Totally.
it and loop it and then play over top of it.
Yeah. And what I like about it and Reels is that like I used to like, you know, do time lapse videos and put them on Instagram, and you just like
Yeah.
can't put music on it. You try and put music on, it's copyrighted, video gets
Oh,
flagged.
yeah.
It's like the music's the part of it, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you can put like I've started like before I was like trying to put ones that'll like go viral, like what are trending sounds, and now I'm just like fuck it, I'm just putting like Tool and Deftones,
Yeah.
you know, shit that I like on my videos. I'm like, this is sick. It's great. Like I can put not only, but just not generic, like royalty free music like you have to do on YouTube or something. You know, you can put like real like songs that you
the
like.
Theme from this podcast.
It's sure that
yeah.
That's what they have to be, right?
Yeah, because I put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you have to do that, dude. In some of these videos, I'm like, I don't like this music, but I only got so many options.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not subscribing to these like ones where you pay $10 a month, you can get all the music. I'm just like, you do it. You put the royalty free shit in,
just
but it's
Google
awesome
royalty free
on TikTok and whatever that you can just like put like real music on it. It makes it so much better. You're like, yeah, put this up with like a fucking Queen song or whatever. You know, it's awesome.
And it's awesome too because it's like, not only can you use all this music, but if you do use this music, it's like on this whole like streamer thing. Like it's like on Spotify where if you like listen to like the certain band, they get paid whatever percentage for how many clicks. But it's the same on TikTok. So it's like if you know musicians, you just like make a video and then you can like search their music. Like there's this guy, he's been on the podcast a couple times, Chatterless. So it's like if I made a couple of videos that weren't the podcast. It was just like a video of me doing something dumb. So I'll put like his song behind it. So it's like, why not? You're helping out a buddy. So
totally.
Good.
Totally. Also a thing with like TikTok is like for, I don't know, guys my age or our age, whatever, that are like, they just, you sort of like, you don't want to become this like old man that hates all the thing. Like people are always like kids today. And I'm like, kids today are way better. It's fucking, they're awesome, you know? I like the funny shit the kids doing on here, and you know, there's better people than we were. But it's good to like not separate yourself from youth and what's going on in the world, you know? I'm not saying like wear a sideways visor or, you know, be an old guy in skinny jeans, which I totally am. But you just gotta like, you know, be cool with what's going on right now. And then like when you go in it, you're like, all my friends are just like, oh, it's so stupid. It's just like fuck tweens, you know, dancing. And it's like, yeah, that dancing thing's a whole part of it. But there's like food, TikTok, there's all other kinds of part of it, you know? And just like good to, I don't know what's going on in the world, not let yourself become this like grumpy old man that like hates whatever is new and cool, you know?
Like I'm not going to deny that there's a lot of stuff I'm grumpy about. One of them is wearing your sticker on your baseball cap. Like just take the sticker off. That's a personal thing. I know why people do it. They want everybody to know that their fucking lid is fresh. I get it. But like, I'm with you. It's like just denying everything. Like there's a while where it's like TikTok, I'm not doing that. That's just fucking new Vine, and Vine failed. So TikTok's going to fail. But then it's like, you go on it. And then I found this other thing. It's like Extreme Mormons. And it's these guys doing like a parody of like skateboarding and biking and stuff, but they're
man, I totally saw one of those.
Play the characters of awkward Mormons.
And he's like a great, like he was on a scooter and he did like a sick rail on like a scooter, but there were these Mormon guys. I saw one video for sure. It's good, man.
Yeah,
it's totally good.
And there's stuff that's so funny. You just gotta trust the algorithm.
I think my girlfriend was good for like probably like turning me that. Like I think with being a metalhead, or I don't know if I'm a metalhead, but you know, a metal fan and stuff, they're really elitist, and it's really like easy to like just hate everything and be mad about it. And a lot of my friends are like that. And then it's just like, man, you don't like need to like you think with the sticker, like who cares? People are gonna dress different fucking ways. You know what I mean? People tattoo their face, people do other shit, you know? And it's like, I'm not gonna do it, but I also don't need to get mad about it. It's like when people get mad about like a word not being okay anymore. And it's like I totally get the instinct to be like, well, we used to be able to say the word, and it's no big deal. But it's also like, man, if people don't want to be called something, then you shouldn't call them that. What's the big deal? The fuck do you care? You know, people just instantly mad about like change, you know, and you got to be like, no, man, I don't want to be that old guy. And then just be cool with shit. And I think having, I think my girlfriend really helped me with that shit. But
Mhm.
yeah, so shout out Vanessa if you ever
Yeah.
watch this. But yeah, man. So just be cool. I don't know. I'm like, this is your podcast seems to be a bit of a rant kind of a thing anyway. So it's probably about getting mad at you. But I feel like these days I'm like a lot less mad. And I think like
Yeah.
having some success in some areas helps, because with music and stuff, we feel like we're doing a pretty technical form of music and shit. And then there's like pop music out there getting super famous. Like this shit's garbage, So it's easy to be mad about it.
Yeah.
But
The
really
weird,
it comes from some
yeah, the
sort of butthurtedness of like your own like lack of
butthurtedness.
success or, there's
Yeah.
something like that going on in there. If you were super successful, you're not going to be mad about other
Mhm.
people being successful. You're mad because you're not. And there's some sort of resentment involved.
Yeah, I was just gonna say before, like you said like how like the weird thing is when you find like a pop song that had like 30 writers on it, and like I'm not saying this because I hate it. It's just like
Dude, I know.
sometimes that
I've
stuff
seen
is
that.
secretly so mathematical, and you're like, whoa. Like they'll
Yeah.
have like I'm pretty sure some of these Billie Eilish songs had like 3 different like vocal writers and all the stuff just to get it perfect and poppy and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe in a remake of. I thought her thing was like it was like her brother produced it and it was her and it was pretty underground. But I don't really know and I don't really do it.
I was just
But
using her as an example.
yeah,
I might
exactly,
have
dude.
failed.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's easy to get butthurt about all that shit and get, and then also a lot of times it is ignorance. You don't really know what's going on. I always assume
Mhm.
these pop stars are brought up and they're like Disney kids and they actually have no talent. But the reality is they probably got there because they did a bunch of hard work and they were a talented young kid or
Mhm.
something like that. Even the Biebers and all these people, they were
Yeah.
found and they somehow became who they are for some reason.
But it's like there's a
There's something
reason they're
behind it.
found, like you said.
Yeah,
I
totally.
think one of the places it stems through, I don't know, like I'm going to speak more about my experience, but I always liked like a different style of music than was popular growing up.
Yeah, me
And
too.
then
Sure.
it's like you get so used to people saying they don't like what you like that you're like, no, what I like is good and it
Yeah,
does mean something. So you kind of alienate yourself from other stuff.
sure.
Whereas I find a lot of kids today like a wider range of stuff because it's just so much easier. Like when you and me were in high
Sure.
school, you couldn't just go on Spotify and listen to anything you wanted to. You had to
Yeah.
like go find the cool kid who had like the weird goth
Yeah.
new wavy stuff
Totally.
or the metal. Like you had to find a metalhead to get some metal. You couldn't
Yeah, for
be
sure.
like, I'm just gonna go on here and
Just go
fucking
on Spotify. And then it's
find.
gonna play other
Yeah,
shit similar. And I might like that too.
yeah,
Also, I think
exactly.
you're right though. Like I think I would get pretty and I still kind of find myself doing it, getting pretty defensive when people like, attack metal and whatever. And I'm not really like into metal for like screaming and stuff, even though that's like a part of it. It's just
Mhm.
like musically that what got me there. Like drumming, I want to play technical, crazy music. And it's like you're gonna go jazz or you're gonna go metal. Those are your outlets, as a drummer. Uh
Yeah,
so I went that route, but and then you got people who are like that shit sucks and like I love this 3 chord repetitive kind of bullshit and you're like, man, that's nothing, that song's been written 1,000 times, there's nothing creative, there's nothing new going on here. But
yeah,
there's something about it that like makes people like clap their hands, want to dance and shit like that. It's all good, man. I think the only reason that you get butthurt or offended by it is just kind of because it's not as recognized and you're
hmm,
sort of like, I guess being looked at as like what you like isn't as good. It's almost like it's not what's good that makes things famous.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
McDonald's is like the most sold burger in the world. It is far from the best. And it's just sort of like I always kind of equate pop music to like fast food.
Yeah,
Everyone loves it and eats that shit up, but we all know it's fucking horrible. You know what I mean? Like a great made burger is much better, but it's just like less mass produced and less people are eating it. I don't
yeah.
know.
I like to look at it like it took me a while to realize this, but you just like the same way you got to just like let people like things. Like people are going to like
Yeah.
even if it's a dumb reason they like it, like how I started liking Aqua when I was in college. I thought it was hilarious to listen to and bug my friends and then it just fucking stuck in there and now I love it.
Yeah.
So, but
And you're
it's
like,
like
ooh, oh,
yeah,
ooh,
you
oh.
also just got to let people dislike things. Like people might hate things for the dumb reason. It's not for you to take personally. Like if somebody hates the music you listen to. That doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just the music itself.
Yeah.
You kind of got to distance yourself from it and let them
I
just
guess, man, but like letting people like and love is a lot different than like letting people hate. You know, I feel like letting people hate. Oh, you got to let people hate. It's like, maybe we should try and stop people from hating. I don't know.
Well, just dislike.
I know what you
artistic
mean. You
things.
know, yeah, for sure. But also, like a lot of that, it's like, you know, there's people making like nasty comments and shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that shit's way less necessary than, you know, trying to convince someone else to like a form of music they don't like.
Well, I guess the people who are making like terrible comments and stuff aren't letting other people like stuff. They're just like trying to convince people not to like something because they dislike it. So it's like you kind of like the same way I'm not gonna sit down and try convince like my girlfriend why Blood Tsunami is good music because they had this one song about Horsehead Nebula. It's like 12 minutes long and it's awesome, but it's metal and she can't handle metal. So I just, whatever.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But now you're going to have to listen to some like trap rap and agree with what she likes. And you're going to be like,
country.
She's
country and it's
might be worse. Yeah.
It's a rough one. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Sure.
There's like,
but that's it. No, it is like that. Just like that. That's a problem. It's like when you come in like a relationship, you find your own space. Like my girlfriend and I, we like end up listening to a middle ground of music that neither of us really like, but both of us can tolerate. So like she wants to listen to this, I want to listen to this. It's so far from fucking each other that we end up having to listen to like you know, kind of popular rock, or you know, you listen to like classic rock or indie rock or something, like whatever would be played on X92.9 or something. They're both like, whatever, they're Kells.
There's always vocal indie. Nobody can hate that. You could always just like be like, all right, here's some Metric or the Arkells. Or
I don't love it, but it's not offensive to my ears, and it's not offensive to your ears, and we can find common ground in this. You know,
we could sit in the car without killing each other with this song.
Yeah, exactly, totally. I don't have to listen to WAP, and she doesn't have to listen.
Well, I guess Jordan's gone. Looks like his phone just died, so I will close this off. I guess he said that his girlfriend likes WAP and he didn't get put what music he likes in there. So if you want to catch up with Jordan, you could go check out Illuminated Minerva. He never did mention the cover band that he plays, but I don't know if they really have any recorded music or anything. But check out his Instagram. He does like he was saying, he does a lot of cool videos where he'll do time lapse of the stuff he's working on. Like he did the Carey Price helmet where it's like it shows him doing it looks like so much fucking work. Like he'll have the video and he'll start with he'll do these vinyl cutouts and he'll put them on, then he'll paint around them and they'll pick off the vinyl, and it's like an amazing amount of work. Like I don't know. It's awkward when you're talking to someone who's this talented and you want to kind of just blow them up and just tell them how good they are constantly, but you kind of don't want to make it awkward by fangirling on them, being like, oh, I'm this huge fan or whatever. But yeah, so go check out Jordan's shit. You will not be disappointed. Like I was saying, he does the videos he has of the shoes, what I was talking about. Like he does Spock, those are good videos because it's start to finish, because it's the Carey Price helmet was so in depth that you can't really do it in one video, but the shoes are nice because it's a good start to end thing. I don't know, maybe that's more of a me thing where you see a stop motion video and you kind of want to just see it from the beginning to the end to see what the product started as to what it ended as. But anyways, go check him out. Follow him on TikTok. I think that's also JBo Airbrush. That's what I was trying to get out of him before we both launched into TikTok. And hey, guys, come on. We all hated TikTok when we first heard about it. But now that this podcast is on TikTok, you should go on there and you should like us. And you should follow. Actually, it's under my name. So if you want to see 1 minute clips of these, usually I'll put up, it's I don't know if you've seen them, but on YouTube, I'll put up like a trailer for each episode lately where it's like 3 1 minute clips back to back to back. But the videos on YouTube are just each of those are not YouTube. The videos on TikTok are each of those in a minute segment. So if you're like you're jonesing for your like outrage factory fix, but you don't want to like sit through an hour and a half of me talking and Derek talking, and you just want to get in and out, get a good punchline, and then pop out, you just go there and you could get your fix. Um, Follow us on TikTok, as I said, at Dale DeRuiter. Follow us on Facebook. It's just Outrage Fact Pod. We don't have an Instagram. I mean, it's not really a picture medium, so like I still see. I know Instagram has reels and stuff, but I just view it as still photo medium. I mean, if you want to follow me personally, it's just DaleBot, and you will see all the pictures of grass and moss on trees, and sometimes a bird if they're sitting still enough. I'll take a picture of those. On Twitter, it's Outrage Fact Pod. Send us some feedback on at or not at, it's just outragefactpod at gmail.com. I mean, if you want to hear, if you have any advice for us, if you have a guest you want to see on the show, just pitch them. Maybe I'll approach them, try not to creep them out too much, scare them off, if you know what I mean. Um, it's weird. I always thought it'd be so weird. Like Jordan laughed because his phone died, and now it's just me. And I'm like, my biggest fear is always like when I'm talking on the podcast, if the other host is like sometimes I'll be talking and they won't say anything. I'll be like, oh shit, do I have to talk more? Can can I just stop? So I was always like a scare. I was always a scared to do like a podcast of just me talking, but I feel like I could handle it. Like I'm doing it right now. It's just me talking to you, I guess, like hypothetical guest person. Or I mean, it's an hour and a half. You're probably gone already. But if you're not, thanks for sticking around. It was good to hear like how jealous, how awesome was Jordan? Like, oh yeah, Carey Price talked to me, and like not having a giant swelled head. Like if Carey Price ever messaged me about this podcast, all of you would know about it because I would never stop talking about it. But Jordan's like, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on. He's such a good, like, humble guy. Like, dude, when I say this guy's talented, I'm not just being like, I'm not like doing that like Vancouver thing where you're just kind of like lying just because you want to talk and be included. Like, this guy's fucking talented. Like, I remember I met him at a bar and I was like, this guy's hilarious. Like, we were just shooting the shit and making jokes. So, like, this guy's cool. And then after that, we went to a party at his house and we went to the basement and we're like hanging out. And he's like, oh, this is my jam room. I'm like, and I've seen a couple jam rooms from dudes, and it's always just like, maybe a carpet on the wall and a guitar, this, but there's like this full drum setup, full guitar setup, and a mic. That's how you know someone's fucking serious about their jam session if they have a mic set up. So I go down there and there's all these drums. He's like, oh, I'm going to play the drums. And he was fucking so good. He was so fast on the double bass beat. I was like, oh, this motherfucker, he's so good at drums. And then he was like, oh, I'm into airbrushing too. And this was like when he started, like he was good then, but now he's just fucking surreal. And he's like, hey, do you want to see what I'm working on? So I think it was a Mustang, and he was like painting castles and shit all over it, which, oh, I should have asked them about that on the podcast. That would have made sense, right? Whatever. So, oh, what I might do is I'll ask him for pictures of some of the stuff he's worked on, and then I'll put it on the thing. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry, he's just messaging me on Facebook Messenger. Let me see if actually I could get him back in here. Okay, I'll just ask him if there's anything. um, this is awesome podcast. Is me talking to the guest whose phone just died. I'm just gonna ask him if there's anything he wanted me to shout out. Yeah, just finishing up. Anything you want me to tell the lovely fans of Outrage Factor? Rage. Hungary. Oh, like one thing I'm just gonna, guys, I swear I'm almost done. I know it's been a long haul, but there's one thing like you listen to some podcasts and I'd never even thought of this, but, what's his name? Sam Tripoli. He's this like stand-up comedian slash, crazy, crazy truther that I listen to. Like he's above my level, but I like listen to it. But he calls all of his fans the swarm. And I was like, oh man, I don't even know if we have like something to call our fans. But then I remembered back like, God, this was so long ago. Remember me and Derek were talking about making a cult for Outrage Factory and calling it the Lost Boys as a joke? And I was like, we could call our fans the Lost Boys. But I'm like, yeah, but that excludes all the girls who listen, like Tennille, who's always avidly commenting and giving us feedback as we go. So Lost Boys isn't going to work. Lost People, well, kind of loses the sting a bit. It doesn't have the kind of nostalgic from the Peter Pan era. So if you want to get back to me or Derek, and just let us know what you think we should call the fan base, or if that's a dumb thing, like should we not name the fan base at all, or should we give them a name? That's like first part of the question. Second part of the question is, if we should name the fan base, what should we call them? Like, what do you folks want to be called? Outrage folks? Nah, that's a mouthful. It's got to be something easy. Yeah, I think I've rambled on along. This is a long one. This might be one of the longest, and the last 15 minutes is just me. So, I mean, hey, do you guys want to hear about my feelings? No, just kidding. All right, everybody. Until next time, stay angry.